Bello Bear Official says, "Hi, I'm Seb, the creator of Bello Bear. My live is about being creative and hanging out with you. Today we are working on the music for our AI song."
All right, friends, it's another streaming day. Cheers. It's just soda water, but cheers anyway. All right, let me turn down my music just a little bit. Make sure you guys can actually hear me. All right, that's a little better. There we go. All right. I think we are good. What is going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday. It's Tuesday. God, where does the time go? Seriously. Oh, yeah, let me move this over. Sorry about that. Accidentally scrolled on my mouse and turned up the music. Let me move this over. There's a little preview window that's right underneath that I have to the left of the camera when I start the app. So I always move it underneath, so I'm looking at you instead. Otherwise, it's weird. Anyway, all right. So Tuesday, where does the time go? And it's already the beginning of February. It was just like New Year's yesterday. What the hell happened? Yeah, crazy stuff. Got new glasses. What do you guys think? Pretty nice, huh? I like these. Not that different from my old ones, but needed to update the prescription a little bit. Got a slightly darker tint on these, which I like. As the older I get, the more sensitive my eyes are to lights and bright lights. And I mean, I already turned on the blue light and everything on my computer, and these kind of help filter that a little bit. They're kind of like a light brownish, orangish, yellowish, light brownish tint. So it helps make it a little easier for my eyes, because they just are, the older you get, everything starts hurting and not wanting to work as good. And yeah, it sucks. My shoulders, both of them hurt. This one in particular, got my lower back, got my knee. It's a mess. Getting older, I don't know. It doesn't suck, but I always say it sucks just because, all the dumb stuff I did as a kid and jumping off things and playing crazy sports and, feeling invincible, and it's catching up with me. But that's all right. It's the way it goes. I'm aging gracefully. Something like that anyway. So, oh yeah. You guys want to say hi to little football? There's little Harley. She's a sleepy pie. Right, bud? You're so cute. She's such a stinker. So she's going to be taking a nap. Maybe she'll wake up later and come hang out with us a little bit. Right, bud? She rolled over. See, you don't give two forks? She doesn't give 2 forks. Let's go with forks. Anyway, so what the hell are we doing today? I'm just kind of rambling, kind of getting warmed up here, and I'm going to grab, as you know, I tend to have allergies and stuff going on, and today's no different. So I'm going to grab me a cough drop, so I'm not hopefully hacking in your ear, sniffling too much either, for that matter. So Tuesday, last time around was Thursday. Actually, previous Tuesday, we started working on this song. Let me go ahead and make sure this music is on repeat so we can dot some background noise. Let me go kind of get set up here. Sorry, I'm a little discombobulated here today. Let's hide that. Let's get this. And let me zoom in a little bit here so you can see what the heck we're doing. Close that out, and then we'll What's the command for zooming in? No. No. Oh, bloody poop. Zoom in. Oh, Command Shift. Okay. Too many different Command Shift things on the Mac here. There we go. Now you guys hopefully can. I'm going to zoom in pretty good here. Hopefully we can actually see that on the screen. Wow, that's big. All right, we'll go there. Hopefully you can see it. If you need me to, if you're watching this live and you need me to zoom in a little more, let me know. So we started this song. This one took kind of a crazy journey, and this has been a lot of work on this song. For arguably what's going to seem probably pretty simple at the end of the day, which to me is really that's where you have good writing, where you listen to something or you read something, or even graphic arts, which is kind of my day job. I've gone over that before. But you see something that just looks so clean and simple. 9 times out of 10, it took somebody just forever and a day and just a bazillion revisions to get it looking that good and that simple. It looks easy. That's so hard to do. So anyway, I'm not saying this song is going to be good by any means. I think it's pretty good, but that's kind of how this process has been. And I'm going to walk you through it real quick in case you didn't see the last streams. We'll catch you up relatively quickly here. New track. Yeah, so we started this on 127, so last Tuesday. This is episode 3 of this song. How crazy is that? So the premise for this one, if you don't know, the last song I did before this, I'm kind of going for this like AI, human symmetry, not necessarily fighting each other, but like what if we just all kind of took a chill pill on the idea of machines and AI and humans coming together? What would that be like? What would the machines feel? What would we feel? What are subjects we can talk about? So that's kind of what I did. My first one, let's go over to that and we'll check it out. So I'm giving you the full introduction to where we are with this song. I'll play you this song for a little bit. This is called More Than I Am, and this is what started this whole journey. Kind of this AI, robotic, human. I'm gonna turn it up for you a little bit. So this is the first song I did under this kind of theme. It's called More Than I Am. I think it came out really, really good. So the idea on this one is that, the AI is coming to life, the cyborg, whatever, the machine is coming to life. And it's asking these questions about being more than it is. So more than I am, and it's a constant repeat of more.
More programs searching for life, more sight. More running, fighting, surviving, more beneath the coding, more than data flowing, more what is knowing, more than code, more than purpose, more than ring.
All right, you get the idea. So it's it's like this AI awakening kind of thing, and so I really dug the song. I was like, this is cool. And this was based off of so in my writing, let me turn this down a little bit. I'm kind of all over the place, but so when I'm writing about stuff, I try to find something to write about. I don't know if you've ever written anything or you're an artist by any means and drawing stuff. The hardest part is sometimes having a blank, piece of paper in front of you or a blank screen if you're typing it on the computer, trying to figure out what the heck to write about. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll get inspiration from, other songs. A lot of times what I really love are movies. TV shows are okay, but movies are really cool because you can pick a movie and obviously you can pull from the actual, story involved. But a lot of times I like going for the abstract. What's behind the story? What's driving it? Anyway, point being that for this song that we're listening to right now, More Than I Am, I picked Tron, the original Tron movie. I guess that applies to the newer one too. But it was like this machine coming to life kind of thing. And anyway, went through the whole thing, writing the song, refining lyrics, and it kept going and going until we finally got with this. And I like the theme, so I was like, hey, I should do some more of these. So what I'm going to do now is we'll play the next one. This one's coming out on Friday. This is not going to be for everybody. This is a real trance, turned down, minimal lyrics kind of thing. It's literally one lyric that's kind of repeated a few times. And it says, I want to run. So the machine is like awake, like almost like a kid, and like, I've got legs, like I want to go do stuff. I want to run. That kind of attitude. And so I'll play a little bit of that for you. It's very trancey, very EDM. Probably not everybody's cup of tea, but let's listen to a little bit of it.
I want to run.
Very upbeat, very fast.
I want to run. I want to
So you kind of get the idea. Very trancey, very just instrumental. You can kind of skip through here a little bit. It's like a 3-minute song. It's pretty short for like an EDM song almost, because you tend to have like you want these long stretches of rhythm where you just get engrossed into the music. So, but that was the next one, and it was like the machine is waking up and it learns it has these legs that it can just fly like an eagle down, not fly like an eagle, but run like something like a cheetah, run really fast. So it's like, I just want to go run. It's kind of this awakening, almost like a kid finding it has legs. And so that was the next one that I did, and that'll be released, by the way, on Friday. I'll probably put out a lyric video probably tomorrow on my YouTube. So if you want to get it early, go there. And if you're not subscribed, please go subscribe. So that was the last one. So now, this kind of put me in the idea that I could make a series out of this. Maybe we turn this into an album. How cool would that be? Where we have 10, 11, 12 songs, all themed around the same character. The vocals are obviously the same, so there's continuity for the album. Anyway, so that was that one. And let me go ahead and we're going to turn this down a little bit. So that got me to the next song. This is what we started last Tuesday. And this one, the theme I used, because I didn't want to continue with Tron necessarily, but I was like, okay, what else can we use? So Blade Runner 2049, that's one of my favorite movies. It's an amazing, cyborg AI kind of thing. I love the original Blade Runner, which is still pretty darn good. But anyway, so this is kind of what I picked, and not quite sure how the heck I ended up with the song I have now, just based on this. But this is kind of the arc that I go on with this thing, and I use just so you know too. I use Suno to make my AI music, but I also use Claude. Claude is my writing partner, and I've given him instructions. I have these saved. I call it my codex, songwriting instructions. And so he knows exactly how I like to write things. So like the first time I did a song with him, I said, here's the steps of how I like to do things. I like to pick a subject. Then I like to kind of look at what the heck is the subject about, come up with kind of a storyline based off of that. Basically the arc. And then the way I like to do my songs is I like to do them in a intro / verse to build, to drop, to final, kind of based on EDM style of music where, you're going on this ride. Other music genres tend to be a little different, but I really like that for storytelling. And that's kind of my main goal with writing stuff. Even if it's simple, there's still a story behind it. I mean, I want to run, but as I told you, there's a whole reason why. And that's, I think when you do that, it helps back up the lyrics and back up the story and makes it more interesting. So that's where we are. So we went through all of that. And oops, I just turned on my screensaver. Hang on, sorry. There we go. Now I'm back. So basically I went through this with Claude and we looked at the movie and kind of trying to figure out a story. And what we came up with was that I observed them, study them, these humans. And that's not necessarily in a bad way, but like, if you're a baby or if you're a little kid, you look at your surroundings, you're like, what is that? And, touch the stove. Oh, that's hot. Don't do that again. You're I don't know, growing, you're expanding, your brain is getting filled with stuff. And that's the way I kind of saw this. And this is all kind of inspired by the, Blade Runner theme. From there, the machine is learning what humanity really means. And to me, a big part of that is, just feelings and
Jake-W2L says, Hi.
what's up, Jake? How are you, bud? I'm just going through our song that we're gonna hopefully finish up today. This one's been a long one coming. Uh, what's up, bud? How are you? What's going on? What are you up to today? Happy Tuesday. Well, I'm gonna keep yapping a little bit, and then I'll chime in when you respond back. So, yeah, so the idea is that we're kind of learning or seeing what the machine is like, what's their life like. Um, then it starts thinking about love, machine human love. Two hearts, one's biological, one's synthetic, but fundamentally they're the same thing. I mean, we created AI and cyborgs and stuff. We basically created them in our image. That whole concept. So there's so many similarities, and of course the machine sees that. And then it went to once we kind of got all that thing, it seemed like, okay, maybe this is a love story. And that was the final the revelation is that there's no difference between your heart and mine. Basically, they're both beating to keep us alive, kind of thing. Whether that's energy, whether that's pumping blood or what have you. So that's kind of the story writing to this whole thing. So we went through all of that. And Jake, so I'm kind of going through this in case, because I post my lives after. You can watch them on my channel if you miss it or whatever. So I'm kind of going through a catch up for anybody that's joining in new.
Jake-W2L says, use FL Studio sometimes.
Oh yeah, right on. Very nice. I'm very limited in what I do. I know enough to be dangerous, is what I like to say. I'm a creative person at the end of the day, and that's always the number one thing that drives me to get to where I am. So, anyway, so we got like our premise of this. So I'm just going to try to do a relatively quick recap, which I'm failing miserably at because I'm already like 10 minutes. So, taking that arc idea, then it's like we break it down. And again, I've set this all up with Claude, he's got all these instructions. So when we go to write a song now, it's so much easier. I can tell him, here's the idea. And then he spits all this stuff out for me. And we go through it. From our original arc, we get the full thought first. Okay, what's the full thought behind this section? Get all that written down. Then we break it down into individual lines. And, we're starting to try to rhyme a little bit. It's more poetic. It's what you expect from song lyrics. And then it keeps going. From there, usually there's multiple versions. Like that first version, let me zoom up a little bit here. This first version I'll take and I'll put into Suno with whatever rough kind of music I want. In this case, it was leaning towards electronic, a little bit like pop and electronic mixed together, EDM. And I pop the lyrics in there and I start listening to how is it singing the lyrics? What works? What doesn't? Is it stumbling over certain lines? Does it want to try to break up one because it's too long and I need to shorten it, change it, what have you? And then we start refining. So we went through version 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know. I think we're up to like 7 or 8 at this point. And there's probably a few, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 versions. So anyway, we're up to version 7. So let me go ahead and play you the final track that I have. And mind you, I also did homework, in between. Last stream was Thursday, over the weekend, and even last night I was doing like, refinements and different versions of this song to really kind of nail it down. And this is all, of course, because I'm not a musician. I have to rely on Suno to create the songs for me. So it's a little bit hit and miss. Sometimes it works great, other times not so much. But let me go ahead and play you what I ended up with. And mind you, I probably went through 200 variations from vastly different to kind of finding, okay, these 3 songs I like, let's play with these. Then it's like, okay, this one song is really good. Now I'm going to try to whittle it down, change it a little bit. I do covers and covers and covers until I kind of get it. So let me play this for you. So this is pretty darn close to the final, I think. Oh, and it's called Love or Take.
Love or take.
Electric, biologic, system online, eyes open. I see time, hope unspoken, heart sign with time. You're mine. Love or take. Love or take. Love or take. You smile, you hurt, love or take. You choose, I refuse, love or take. Love or take. Love or take. Love or take. Love or heart sign with time. You're mine. Love or take. Love or take.
Well, so you get the idea. I think it came out pretty darn good. I think it still has a little bit of work. I think I need to tighten it and shorten it. Right now it's 3 minutes 33. I think I might be able to chop a little bit off the front and definitely a nice little chunk off the back end. I'm thinking it should come in right around 3 minutes, right around there. So what I want to do now, let me pause this before it plays the next version. So what I want to do now is really refine it just a little bit, tighten it. With the limitations of not being a musician, I think this is about as good as I can get it with Suno. Mind you, again, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a solid 100 plus variation of this song over the last few days. So what I want to do now is we're going to bring this into Suno Studio, and we're going to do a little bit of chopping. And I'm getting a little better with Suno Studio. If you don't know, this is you do have to pay for this to be able to play in the studio version. You can get the basic Suno for free, but to be able to publish songs commercially and stuff, technically, or you have to pay them for the full version to be able to do that. But so anyways, I'm going to bring this into Studio. Let me see if I can move stuff around here to give us a little more breathing room. No, I'm a little limited on screen size here, but that's okay. So, and I'm still, mind you, I'm still learning Studio, how to use it really good, because I know you can do a lot more stuff that I'm not doing with it, which I should learn how to do it so I can, get every little last bit out of it. But we're getting there slowly but surely. So I'm going to do is I'm going to extract all the stems to all the different instruments and stuff. Again, I'm not a musician. I know some of this stuff relates very much to video editing, which I've done a bunch of. So a lot of these kind of, different tools and stuff you can use are somewhat familiar to me, at least. But we'll get better with time. That's kind of, for me, that's half the fun is learning all this stuff. Finding new ways to be creative, and learning different stuff. That's really, as an artist, that I really appreciate doing all that. All right, it's still exporting our stems. Let me go ahead and insert. I think we're pretty close. But I'm going to go ahead and we're going to start seeing where we can chop the song. And I think there's some natural breaks in here, especially for the latter part. The intro, I'm not sold yet if I really want to chop it or not, but we'll see. So let's go ahead and let's move our playhead down here. Yeah, see, I think I can totally break it down here. This latter part right here, this is a natural breaking point. Let's see, we got drums. Let's go ahead and mind you, again, I'm still learning this thing, so I know I can chop stuff though. So if I go, let's see, that's my natural break point there that I'm trying to follow. So if I go ahead and go here, and I'm going to go ahead and delete our drums, and here's our bass. So I'm going to go cut that off at the same spot, or close to it anyway. What else we got down here? Backing vocals. I might leave the vocals in there here, but I can chop these off. And we're just going to kind of play with it to see how we can make this end nicely without sounding weird. Let's see what our sound effects are here. Oh, lots of hissy stuff. I've noticed for like EDM kind of stuff, Suno loves doing these kind of hissy sounds, like air venting sounds. I think I'm going to go ahead and cut that off back here. So I don't really want that for. All right, let's see what happens if we play from about here. Let's see how that finishes.
Love or take.
Kendra Travis 7640 says, "Hi.
Hi Kendra, how are you? Happy Tuesday. Can't believe it's Tuesday, and on top of it, it's already February. Where does time go? It goes so fast. All right, that's actually not bad. I don't know if I want, we can cut the rest of these tracks off too. Let's go ahead and do that. We don't need these are all empty anyway. I guess I could just delete the whole thing. Woodwinds, a lot of these instruments, there's nothing there. It extracts all the stems for all the instruments, but I don't think we need them. The only one thing I'm wondering about is, let me go ahead and do a split here of the drums. There's a final build up. Okay, we're going to start up again. I'm wondering if we really need that. So I'm just going to slide this over here for now, and then let's see how it sounds. So just kind of trying to find it where it's kind of a natural ending to the song. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you.
Love or take.
Okay, I like that. That's a nice ending. Just to see though, let's see what it was with if we put the drums back. Thank you for the hearts. I love it. Thank you so much. Let's see what it sounds like with the drums. I think the drums are a little don't quite fit because it's kind of ramping you back up. Oh, are we gonna go for another drop? And no, we're not. So let's just listen to it. I think we're gonna get rid of the drums.
With time, you're right. Love or take.
Yeah, you know what? Let's get rid of them. It ramps you up too much to think the song is starting over.
Heart sign. With time, you're right. Love or take.
What is the... All right, let me see. Let's do a solo. There's kind of like a...
Love or take.
All right, it's just a lot of reverb and echo there.
Love or take.
Thank you.
Kendra Travis 7640 says, "It's wonderful."
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm glad you like it. It's coming together pretty good. This has been a long one. We started last Tuesday, and I even put a lot of homework in, after hours. So, but it's coming together good. All right, let's zoom out a little bit. I think I like that ending. That's nice. Yeah, and we're just under 3 minutes. All right, I like that. So let's go ahead and let me pause it. Let's export multi-track. God, I can't wait to get better at this so I know what the heck I'm doing. I mean, I know like a little bit, like I said, enough to be dangerous, but I really don't know what the heck I'm doing. This is where I wish I was a musician. I'm just a creative person that likes to write lyrics. And I got, I think, a pretty good ear for songs. So, all right, let's see. Oh, it's still downloading. Okay. All right, it's still chugging. Well, while we're waiting here, I'll go ahead and play you the song from the beginning. Oops. Probably go to the beginning of the song.
Love or take.
Electric, biologic, system online, eyes open. I see time, hope unspoken, heart sign with time. You're mine. take.
Nice. All right, that's coming together good. I think it's a perfect length too. It was a little long. It had another 40 seconds. I don't think I need to chop the front, which I was originally planning. I think the chopping off the back just did the perfect amount. So let's go ahead and hide that. Now I'm going to go ahead and move my files over here so it's easier for me to drag and drop them. I know you can't see my files on this side, but so let's start with keyboard. Is there anything on the keyboards? I don't think there is. I think it's all in the synth. So basically I'm just setting up my multi-track. I'm going to try to do a little bit of mixing. I want to fix a couple of little things that I'm not happy with. So I'm going to do this. All right, let's see which ones. I don't think half of these have anything. I should have, I can just chuck those. Like I got, brass and different instruments basically, and they don't have anything on them. Strings, I think I checked those. Nope, no strings. So I'm just getting rid of the stems that don't have anything on there. Percussion, no percussion, but we have something on the drums track then. Let's get rid of that. Keyboard, no keyboard? No keyboard, it's all synth. All right, well, let's get the synth on there. I know there's something there. There we go. So there's our synth. Guitar, I don't think we have anything on the guitar. We do not. Effects, I know we have some effects. Let's bring those in. There we go. Bass, we definitely have some bass. I know that. Drums, okay, we're down. So basically we got backing vocals, and then I'm going to bring in the vocals too. So we got 6 total tracks. Nice. Okay, looking good. So I'm going to do some little housekeeping here. Again, I'm not a musician. I am not an engineer. I don't know. These are not my fortes, but these are things that I can do because I've learned about them doing video editing and other stuff. So at least I have some basic knowledge to do some of these things. I'm probably doing it ass backwards from how you should be doing it as a musician, as an engineer, but we're using what we got to make it work. All right, so we got a little click in there somewhere, so let's go ahead and bring that in so we can avoid our click in the very beginning. I'll just cut off the very beginning on all of these. I'm not sure where the click is. It's probably on all of them. So I'm sliding these in. I do a lot of like video work and stuff with Adobe Premiere. And once in a while I have to do a little bit of audio stuff. So I kind of know my way around Adobe Audition. This is their DAW, which I don't know if it's that good. I've heard people say it's okay, but there's limits. You're limited. But it's what I got in front of me, so I'm using it to kind of do what I want. So basically what I'm doing is I'm cleaning up a little bit, like the little tick in the beginning. I'm going to clean up the ending, the final, little fade out there. There's a couple of little hissing things. I think I can simply do oh, and I can also cut these off. These are, so I'm going to trim the end here a little bit. There we go. So I'm going to trim these all down. We don't need there's nothing on the, on the end there that's going to keep the song going. So I'm going to get rid of all of those. So our song actually ends around here. And then I want to fix these 2 bottom tracks, which are my vocals and backup vocals. I'm going to fade those out just because there's a little bit of hiss, like, sound effect at the end. I will, not a big fan of that. So let's see if we can't just do a little fade out there. And a little fade out there. Let's see how that sounds.
Love or take.
All right, that's better. Again, there's probably a way better way to do this, but I do not know how, so I am using the tools I got in front of me. The other thing I wanted to try and see if I can figure out a way to do this, and that is to do a extra to do vocals, extra vocals on the chorus, the lover take part. And I think what I'm going to try to do is to add two extra tracks of the same vocal, maybe set the timing off just a hair, and then kind of pan one to the left, pan one to the right. So hopefully it's going to make a fuller sound and a little bit more louder too. So let me go ahead. I'm going to drag that down here, and then I'm going to do a second one. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to flip this one to the left. Let's go 10. I don't know what the 10 means, if it's degrees or what. But I'm going to do it on both sides. So we got 10 on the left, 10 on the right. Come on. All right, close enough. Let's just see what.
love,
Oh, I forgot about that intro. I don't know if I want to cut that out. That's another thing. All right, let me go ahead and mute these extra ones. I want to see there's this little intro thing that Zuno did, which I had written, but I originally I wanted it in the voice. It's lover, lover take. It's the chorus of the song.
love, or take.
I don't mind it. I don't think it's terrible, but it's also not. That voice is not in the rest of the song. I wish she would have, Suno would have used the same voice I have for, singing the whole song. So I don't, it feels a little disjointed and weird that it's in there. I don't know if we actually need it. So I'm going to go ahead and delete it. We can always put it back in. So let's go back to the beginning and play our song without it and see what we think. I don't know. Is it weird or is it okay? It is a little long. And the other thing I questioned too was, do we even need the intro at all? Do we just come in with the drums? Like, I forgot what the top track is. That's my synth. Let me go ahead and we can always, Command Z it, undo it. I'm going to go ahead and trim that there, trim that there, trim that there, trim that there. Backing vocals we don't even have. I'm going to go ahead and just delete these. And so, like, do we start our song basically coming right into the drums, the speed up, get rid of all the, atmospheric fluff in the beginning. Let's see what it sounds like. I probably could have done this in Suno, but... All right, I think we need the intro. I don't know if we need the singing. Let's see. We'll listen to it a couple times and just see.
Love, or take.
I can just mute this track. Let's see. All right, let's try it again. I think I like it better without it. It's a little stretchy in there, maybe just a hair too long, but I think it's better without it. So again, we can change this if we want to later and go back, add it back in, but I think the song's going to be better without it. All right, let's chop the ends off here on my extra vocal tracks. You know, while we're at it, let's go ahead and slide this over. All right, so we got that. So the other thing, I think we're good with intro and outro updated. The other thing I wanted to see about was, like I said, adding extra to the vocals, especially on the chorus part, on the hook. All right, so let's see. Oh, let's see. This is our okay, the lover take. I always felt like it was a little low in the mix. So let me go ahead and get set up so we can add these extra 2 tracks. And see if we can't get bump them up by using, you know, maybe a little, just like I want to expand the sound too. Like I want it to wrap around your ears a little bit more. So I'm going to have 2. I'm going to have one on the left. I'm going to have one on the right. And then I'm going to try to offset them just a hair. So it almost sounds like there's multiple voices going at the same time. We'll maybe try to add some reverb to it, give it a little bit more atmosphere, make it sound like bigger, you know, in the room. And again, mind you, I am not an engineer. I'm not a professional musician. I am literally doing this on the fly. All right, and then I want to do it again here. So let me zoom in a little bit. And basically, we're just doing this on the chorus. So I'm going to go ahead and we can get rid of these middle parts. Let's zoom out a little bit. What is all this stuff? Okay, get rid of that. Get rid of that. Okay, and then let me see. I should probably turn these down a little bit. So let me go to minus. Let's go to 5.7. Minus 5.7. All right, we'll turn these back on. Let's just see what it sounds like with them. I think it might, maybe it's enough just to add the extra layer and give it some more oomph and then have it kind of wrap around the sides. Oh, I almost forgot. Let me zoom in. I want to offset these just a hair. Because I want them to feel like, you know, multiple people singing. All right, and I got to do that same thing over here. So I'm going to have come in just a little hair early, maybe a hair late, and just literally a hair. All right, let me zoom out a little bit.
Max 90,265 says, "Heyo."
What's up, Max? How are you? You're going to be disgusted at this. You probably shouldn't watch this. This is me fumbling around trying to be an engineer, a musician, and trying to fuck around with my Suno track. That is, you know, actually, I think it's a pretty decent track. But what I'm doing here, you're going to be like, oh God, what are you doing? I'm trying to bump up the vocals, basically the chorus, the hook. And what I was thinking is I would add extra couple layers. So one voice slightly, you know, offset from the regular singer. One voice is, you know, slightly on the left, slightly on the right, and slightly offset. I don't know, maybe add some reverb to see how it goes. I don't know. Do you want to hear my track though? I can play it for you. See what you think. And I can give you the quick rundown too if you want. I don't know what the heck you're doing. You might be busy and just like threw this on in the background. All right, let's just play it. Let's see what happens here with the added extra layers of vocals.
Electric, biologic, love.
Max 90,265 says, doing pretty good. Been home because of the storm. Been hard to get on the stream with the new schedule.
Yeah, God, I totally forgot about the storm. I hope you guys are hanging in there. It's been a little chilly over here, but otherwise business as usual. Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you made it. So yeah, please feel free to yell at the screen and go, "What the hell are you doing?"
Max 90,265 says, yeah, go ahead and play it. You can probably accomplish what you're thinking with just a delay.
Okay. Yeah, like the chorus is just a little too quiet for me, so I wanted to ump it, and then I'm thinking, all right, let me add a little bit to it and see if I can be creative. Not my amateur musician over here. So anyway, I'll keep playing it, and then the chorus is coming up right here. You'll see the extra layers I added.
Broken heart sign with time. You're
Max 90,265 says, we got a ton of snow. I had to shovel my driveway for the first time in my life.
That is amazing. I think maybe I've shoveled the driveway just for fun, like when we went on a skiing or snowboarding trip. But yeah, wow, dude, that's crazy. First time ever. Oh, hey, it's a good workout though. It's a really good workout. All right, let me turn this. Let me put these on mute again, and that way we can actually hear what the hell is going on. All right, let's try it one more time with them added back in. Okay, I don't mind it. I think I have them turned down a little too much. Let's go like 4, -4, or 3.9. It seems to want to stick to. All right, let's see if that's a little better.
heart sign with time. You're
Does it sound stupid? It almost feels like I'm doing too much there. All of a sudden, we're like in a cathedral or something. I wonder if I should just do one, just to bump up
Max
the volume.
90,265 says, sounding pretty good. Is the reason you wanna offset the vocals to make it sound like there's a chorus of people?
Well, that was okay. My initial thought was I just want it to be a little bit louder. But then I started thinking, I'm like, well, what if I add some and have it sound more like a chorus of people? Was the secondary thought afterwards. So I don't know. I mean, is it still clear? Does it still vocally make sense? I'm just wondering if I should just bump up the vocals a decibel or two, so they're a little bit louder, because that was the main overall thing. I was like, it's just not quite loud enough compared to the rest of the song, and if this is supposed to be the chorus,
Max 90,265 says, there's two ways. You can add a chorus effect, which essentially does exactly what you want.
Okay. I have no clue how to do that. That's the only problem. That's why I'm Jimmy Ray.
Max 90,265 says, it
Okay.
adds layers that will be offset or slightly out of tune.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's literally what I'm doing, but doing it the hard way. Okay. Well, I don't mind that. So, you know what? Oops.
Max 90,265 says, the other way is to use a delay. I would go with the chorus effect.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, crap, man. I don't even know how the hell to do that in this stupid thing. Let's see. I don't even know how to add like specifically on one track. I'm still learning, fumbling my way around here. I kind of know what I'm doing, but just I don't know what I'm doing, but at least I kind of know my way around
Max
here.
90,265 says, you can just find the chorus effect and pick a preset to make your life easy.
Gotcha. All right. The question is, how do I apply that just to one track? We got effects. Delay, echo. No. Edit clip, effects, in effects rack. Got reverb. Yeah, see, this is the problem. I don't know how to even apply it to like a whole track. Can I select? Oh, here we go. Select. All clips in one track.
Max 90,265 says, I'm not familiar with the program you're using. Is there a mixer view?
I have, it's Adobe's DAW, it's Audition. And bro, this is like Greek to me, so I think I'm gonna keep it simple, and I'm just gonna go with let me just try. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna, because like I said, the main focus was just to make it a little louder. So maybe I'm gonna just keep it, forget the panning and all that fun stuff. When I have more time and I'm not live streaming, fumbling around, I'll look at it more. But I think for now, I am just going to try to keep it simple. It's just like you're throwing shit at the TV right now, because it's probably kind of similar to like when you were just learning the graphic stuff in InDesign.
Max 90,265 says, yeah, there's always time to learn.
I agree. And I love learning, but I don't want to sit here and fumble around and watch videos and stuff. At some point, I'll get on here and do like a proper, tutorial on using Audition. All right, let's see. All right, that's just funky. All right, let's get rid of that one. I think I might just be overstepping my bounds here. I already kind of did what I want. So, do you want to hear the whole thing? It's kind of I don't know, 80s synth wave, little EDM thrown in there, and it's kind of machine love kind of thing. The whole thing started with the concept of the movie Blade Runner 2049, if you can believe it. I don't know how the hell I got here, but it's kind of human.
Max 90,265 says, yeah, totally, throw it on.
All right, I'll throw it on. So the inspiration was kind of like human and AI love, or cyborg, whatever, human machine love. And all of these songs, I've done a couple of these now. I can play the other ones for you too. But the idea is that we're looking at the human machine combo in a nice way, not just end of the world. All right, here you go.
time. You're mine. Love will take. Love will take. Love will take. You smile, you hurt, love will take. You choose, I refuse, love will take. 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 Heart sign with time. You're right. Love will take.
There you go. That's my my interpretation of Machine Human Love. What do you think of my pop song?
Max 90,265 says, sounds great. I think the vocals are fine as they are.
All right, cool. You know what? I'm overanalyzing this thing because not being a musician, I have to totally let, Suno do its thing and I can just give it a little jabs here and there, like do this or do that. And it's hit or miss. So, um, cool. Well, I'm glad you think it's good because I've done probably, I don't know, 150 variations of this thing from, totally different song structures and everything else to finally whittling it down to something I like and then refining. So it's an ass backwards way to do this, I know, but not being a musician definitely sucks. Okay. Wait, what? Okay, sure. Yeah.
Max 90,265 says, yeah, if you sit and listen to something for too long, you start overanalyzing. It's always good to step away from it for a bit if you need to.
I agree, because I mean, boy, I've heard this song about a bazillion times in the last I don't even know how long. So yeah, uh, I can't listen to it anymore. I mean, I still like it, but like I'm getting just like tone deaf to it and just over analyzing the crap out of it. Is that the one we just did? 230? No. Oh, okay. Import it back up. Where's? Ugh. See, I don't even know how to properly export this thing out of here as a wave without sending it to God knows where. Multi-track mixdown, entire session. That's not what I'm looking for, is it? I did this the other day, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Mixdown wave, file name, yes. You know what? Let's make my life easier. I'm going to save it to the desktop. That way I know. Hey, look at that. That's so much easier. Well, I'm glad you dig it. This is the songwriting's been, really fun. Obviously, I can't do music. I can't write, notes or anything like that, but
Max 90,265 says, look for something that says bounce.
all right, well, I just saved it to my desktop, so it was easy to find. So I think we're good. All right. Well, I got another probably cringeworthy thing. You're gonna be like, oh God, no. So I use DistroKid to publish, and it has like a mastering thing, which I've used sometimes, other times not. And it's like super basic. From like I'm like, oh God, no, don't do it, man. But I don't need these. Let me close these out. I got too many windows open. That's not it. Where's distro? There it is. So this is their, I guess they partner up with somebody else, a Mixeya, and you can master your track. I've done it a couple times. Sometimes it works pretty good, just really enveloping sound and stuff. Other times it's just makes it goes way overboard and does not sound good. Okay, let's get back out of here. There we go. Upload music. Why is my, because I'm like, why is it going so slow? Because I'm streaming live right now, and I'm uploading a lot of stuff. Let me upload, master track. That's the one I want to hit.
Max 90,265 says, yeah, those auto mastering services don't have the best reputation, but I've never tried one myself.
I had a feeling, and obviously somebody with a good ear like you is going to be like, no. But let's try it and let's see what you think. The ones I've done, for the most part, actually, I think sound a little better. And I do it like, you got different options like low, medium, and high as far as, the amount it does. And it sounds like it just pretty much pumps everything up and then also does the, kind of more enveloping sound. And then you can kind of take your highs either, very bright to just more of a warm, so it's more muted. That's really the bulk of what it does. I do like what it does as far as the making the sound, sound bigger and more full. I'm probably using all the wrong terminology there, but let's see what you think. I mean, I pay for DistroKid's, the service fee anyway, the monthly fee, or I think I pay for it yearly, but it's part of that. So I'm like, all right, I'll use it. We'll see what you think. But I'm glad I'm finally getting done with this track. I started this one on last Tuesday and went through the whole writing process, which is, that's an ordeal too. I don't know if you've watched me do the writing thing. It's pretty interesting though, and pretty fun. I think that I enjoy that the most out of creating the music, because I'm really limited on what I can create using Suno because I'm not a musician. I'm really just kind of throwing paint at the canvas and hoping for the best to a certain degree. I mean, I usually have an idea like, okay, I want this kind of song based on these sounds, and does it have 80s vibe? Is it synth wave? And but yeah.
Max 90,265 says, I have some mastering plugins. I'm not great at it, but I could try to quickly run it through if the mastering doesn't work.
All right, that'd be cool. Well, here, while we're waiting for this, let me, so I played these earlier. I'll give you a little snippet of it at least. The first track, I'm doing kind of a whole series on this like machine human thing. The first one started with, this was inspired by Tron, the original Tron, and it's More Than I Am. I'll play a little bit for you. Let me turn it up.
Running the endless cycle. More driving code through light. More programs searching for life. More sight. More running, fighting, surviving. More beneath the coding. More than data flowing. More what is knowing. More than code, more than purpose, more than real, more than I more than I am. Breaking code, more fighting mode, more survival node, more revival, let's go. More fighting for my future, more power I cannot lose, more programs to choose, more alive and ready to thrive. More than I am. More than I am. More than I am.
So that's what set off the whole human machine thingamajigger, and that was based on Tron, and that took a while to write too. But so that's why we ended up with kind of following in the same footsteps. Wow, it's still going. And then I do have one more song that I did that's just lyrically it's super simple. It's just an EDM trance track with basically the line "I want to run" repeated. Cool.
Max 90,265 says, sounds really cool. Can definitely hear the Tron influence.
Awesome. All right, cool. I'm glad you can hear it. Very, very cool. All right, let's check out this mastering thingamajigger. So here, let me skip forward a little bit. So this is what the original sounds like. At least they give you like the comparison. And then here's the mastered version with their default settings. So, I mean, it's a tiny little snippet, but it seems like the main thing is they just pump the shit out of everything, make it really, a lot louder. So I usually go with low intensity. But then, because then you can kind of hear, because they do some cool effects, like make it, feel more, more surroundish, I guess. I don't know.
Electric.
What do you think? I mean, the one thing I do like, it does make it feel like it's a little bit more, surroundish. Um, but it does seem like if you're not careful too, depending on how the song is already coming out of Suno, sometimes it'll just blast the hell out of the highs and everything. All right, let's go ahead and download that one.
Max 90,265 says, I'm not totally sure it did a whole lot, but it might not be translating over stream.
Yeah, very true. Very, very true. It doesn't do, I don't think it's one, like I said, they do jack up the volume a little bit. But you can tell a difference that there's definitely more enveloping, like especially if you've got headphones on. If you're just listening to it on speakers, I'm sure you can't tell it that much. But it does sound a little better on headphones. Let's see. All right, so there's our mastered. I use that term very loosely. Mastered version. All right, I'm going to get this thing ready for publishing. All right, let's do some lyrics. Oh, I don't. What the heck was that one? So I'm going to just get everything ready. I figured out a cool way to do some lyric videos for these too, which I think look pretty darn good. So I'm gonna get that. I got to get my lyrics ready. I'm going to make sure they are all correct. So let's go ahead and play the song. Oh, damn it. I didn't mean to do that. All right, we'll play it now.
will take. Love will take. Love will take. Love will take. Heart sign with time. Your love will take.
All right, got all lyrics. You know what, Max? As I'm listening to what headphones on a little bit lower volume, I think the original is better than the remaster. Just doesn't sound as good. Other. Sometimes it does a good job. Other times it's just it pushes it too much. It's almost like painful to your ears because they pump it up too high. So I think we are going to go with the original.
Max 90,265 says, want me to take a stab at it?
Yeah, if you want to. Absolutely. Let me What? Why is it not showing me? Okay, what is going on? Overtake. Huh. Why is my Dropbox not working? I was just going to share the Dropbox link for you. Oh, great. They changed Dropbox. This is not what I need. Oh, still uploading a bunch of stuff. Yeah, it's probably going slow because I'm streaming at the same time. There it is. Copy link. All right, let me send it to you in an email. Okay. All right, I just sent it to you. If you want to play around with it, go for it. See what happens. All right, cool. Well, let's see. What can I do? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the cover next. Cover and lyric video. God, I don't know what the heck I'm going to do for this one. Let me ask my buddy. Let me ask my buddy Claude. He does help me with coming up with prompts for doing pictures for the album covers. Photo prompts. There we go. AI is a really cool tool. The more I use it, and I'm like kind of figuring out how to use it the best way possible, it's coming out good stuff. Hey, bud, new album cover image needed. Here are the lyrics. It's along the same lines of, oh God, what the heck was that? More Than I Am. Oh yeah, I'll play you. I don't even know if you're gonna like this at all. This is another one I did like a follow up, and it was super simple. Like lyrically, it's literally just one line. I want to run, and it's the idea of that the AI is becoming sentient and like, oh, I want to go run and just run as fast as I can, like a kid would do, Like, holy crap, these legs work pretty cool. Let me see how fast I can go. Kind of that feeling. So I did this one. It's super simple. Probably not up your alley, but very, kind of thick trance, kind of following along the same lines. This whole Tron, Blade Runner kind of sound, or at least hinting at it.
I want to run. I want to run. I want to run. I want to
So there's my very trance-ish, almost all, music or instrumental. But I'm kind of following up with the theme. I'm hoping if these all, come out good, I'm going to keep going. Um, and maybe I can put it together as an album, which would be really cool. What am I doing? Oh, Firefly. I am making the album cover. Let's see. Let us see what it can do. Oh, let me add. I'm going to give it the image from the previous album cover. Hopefully that'll help it come up with something good. Bello music. More Than I Am cover. Oh, shoot. Okay. I have to do one thing before we're ready for that. Let me save this as a JPEG. All right. Hide. That'll give it some inspiration. Let's see what we get. Hopefully something good. Hello, whoever you are watching. Don't be shy if you can say hi. I've got text-to-speech set up, so whatever you type in, it'll read it out loud. And
Max 90,265 says, I'm loading up on the track on my end. Don't mind me if I go silent here and there.
cool, no worries. I will be here. Holy crap, what happened? I looked at the clock a minute ago. It's 3 o'clock my time. Now it's 3:30 my time. Time flies when you're having fun. All right, that first cover's not too bad. Let's see what else I can come up with. AI. Ooh, that's not bad. Very similar, but I like that it's a different color background. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and let's go play that other one. Or no, wait. There we go. Let's get out of there. I feel like I should be playing the song, even though I've heard it to death already. I should play it a little bit. We'll just turn a little bit down so we can keep talking. All right. Let's try a few more images, see if we get something a little bit better. I'm going to download this one. I do like this one. Light trails, yeah. Alright, that's cool. I'll generate a couple more just to see. I like this one actually because it's the shape of his hands. I think I still like that one the best. Alright, let's go play with it. Lover take, yes. All right. Yeah, let's go with that one. All right, different background. Let's see. I'm gonna stick with what I got. That just adds too much. Wait, what? There we go. Accidentally threw out the wrong one. What am I gonna release this one? 13th. All right. That was good. All right. What else can we do? Oh, let me get my lyrics ready for the video.
System online, eyes open. I see time, hope unspoken. Heart sign with time. You're mine. Love will take. Love will take. Love will take. You smile.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Cool.
Max 90,265 says, take a listen to what I just sent you.
All right, let's do it. Oops. There we go. Let's take a peek. Well, the fact that I'm not completely sick of this song after listening to it about the bazillion times over the last few days, that says something, that it's still, at least for my ear, it's a decent song. Holy cow. All right, let's see what we got. Let's get... All right, let me go ahead and I'm going to add Max on the end of here so I know it's yours. All right. Ooh, all right.
Biologic. System online, eyes open.
Very nice.
See time, hope unspoken. Heart sign with time. You're mine. Love will take. Love will take. Love will take. Love or take.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I like the, definitely gives it more atmosphere like the other one did, but it's not so blown out. I don't know. Let's play the other one, the original, and just see what. I don't even know if you'll be able to tell the difference, but on the stream, but.
Electric, biologic, system online, eyes open. I see time, hope unspoken, heart sign with time. You're mine. Love or take. Love or take. Love or take. You smile, you hurt, love will take. You choose, I refuse, love will take. 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 Heart sign with time. You're right. Love or take.
All right, so that was the original. Now we'll play yours one more time. I think yours, especially kind of the mid section of the, I don't know what the hell the right terminology is, but the hertz or whatever the heck you call it, it feels more full. It doesn't feel as flat. Where this one kind of feels flat, even though it's got a decent like stuff going on around it, but that middle portion feels tighter. Has a little bit more oomph. At least that's what I'm hearing. But I'm getting tone deaf at this point with this song. So hopefully you hear the same thing. And it's on the stream too, so who knows?
Max 90,265 says, "Yep, you got it. The mids are boosted, and some of the uglier sounds in the low and high ends have been taken down slightly."
Nice. All right, at least I got a decent ear, even though I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I mean, I know I know what I'm hearing. You know what I mean? All right, cool. I'm glad I get it. Nice. Well, thank you very much. This is amazing. Guess who's going to be my go-to mastering person from now on? I'm sorry in advance. Oh, but no, it's dude, really good job. And you literally took you what 5 minutes for me. It takes like hours to do this stuff. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna keep playing because I'm working on the lyric video. Um, if let me know if you get sick of the song, we can put something else on. But I need to listen to it for a little bit so I can get the lyric video set up.
Max 90,265 says, "You're welcome."
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's really good. I like it. All right, here we go.
Eyes open, I see time, hope unspoken, heart sign with time.
Max 90,265 says, "Haha, it's good practice for me. I've been blowing off recording music, so I need motivation."
Well, good.
You smile, you hurt, love will you choose, I refuse, love will take. Love will take. Love will take. Love will take.
I'm gonna move this over here. Oh wait, I know what I need to do.
Heart sign with time. You're right. Love will take.
Hi, puppy. Mwah! I'm still working, honey. I'm sorry. I know. But I still gotta finish what I'm doing. Whoa. She's not happy. Such a pouty face.
System online, eyes open. I see time, hope unspoken, heart sign with time. You're mine. Love will take. Love will take. Love will take. You smile, you hurt, love will take. You choose.
All right, let's pause that one. I'm going to do a screen recording for my lyric video. Where did it go? Why are these not showing up with names? Excuse me. Bello and Bubba. There it is. All right. Pause Pause. If you ever want to do a lyric video, Max, this is like super simple. It's the album cover, and then I got a little visualizer at the bottom, and then I put the lyrics over the visualizer. But it's a nice way, and it looks pretty decent, I think, at least. Cancel. So I do so basically I play the song twice. I play it first time with the album cover, then I play it again with the visualizer, and I put the two together in Premiere. And I just use QuickTime to do a screen recording. Record. All right, play.
Electric, biologic, system online, eyes open. I see time, hope unspoken. Heart sign with time. You're mine. Love will take. Love will take. Love will take. You smile, you hurt, love will take. You choose, I refuse, love will take. 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 Heart sign with time. You're right. Love will take.
All right, so I'm going to do that one more time. Pause, go back. So this time I'm going to do it with the visualizer. And then I stitch them together. Looks pretty cool, I think, at least. There we go. It's not time yet.
Electric, biologic, system online, eyes open. I see time, hope unspoken. Heart sign with time. You're mine. Love Love or take.
Woohoo! All right, there's our screen recording. Now we can make our video. All right, let's close that out. I need that. Let me check that. I'm going to move my files over to the other screen. I know you guys can't see it. I can drop stuff. What am I doing? Oh, God. There we go. And then we're going to drag in what we just recorded. Screen recording. Here we go. Got that. And then we'll drag our master track, our audio. Okay, there we go. Let me zoom in. I guess I didn't need to zoom in there. Let's go and I'm going to line all these up and move stuff around, and then we will have the beginnings of our lyric video. Okay. That makes it easier for me to line them up at the beginning of the track. Oops. Let's leave that one there for now. What? This goes to 2 seconds? All right, I guess we'll do it on 2 seconds then, sucker. I usually like lining it up on 1 second, but for whatever reason, the other playthrough, it didn't show the 1 second, so we'll line it up on 2 seconds. It's all good. Come on. There we go. Where is 2, 2, 2? There is 2. A hug. All right, that's about 2 seconds. And then let's figure out where. Okay. There we go. And we should be good. Oops, clicking on the wrong thing. All right, visualizer is not doing very much. Maybe it's not lined up quite right. All right, let's get our album cover lined up right though. I gotta shrink it down a hair. That looks good. And then our visualizer, we shrink a little bit too. Got it just in the frame. I'm gonna slide it down. Whoop. About there, and then the top we're gonna crop. Whoop. too fast. I go just below the stars usually. I might have to adjust this a little bit more. All right, that should look good. We'll figure out the timing with the visualizer too if it's off. It's not the best visualizer ever. It's not super accurate, so let's go to something where it's
Electric, biologic, system online, eyes open. I see time, hope unspoken, heart sign with time.
all right. That's looking pretty decent. We can always go back and mess around with the timing a little bit if we need to. Like I said, this visualizer is not the best in the world as far as showing you a lot of action, which is good as far as putting lyrics over it, but it also doesn't look very exciting just by itself. All right, let's see if we can start lining up some of these lyrics. Let me zoom out some more until I can figure out a better way. This is how I do this thing, basically manually. There's our first one. Shoot, I think I might have to do two of these. Let's see how it looks. I didn't split electric and biologic into pieces, so.
Electric, biologic.
Yeah, that's gonna annoy me. Let's do it one more time. So we'll insert one more in here. Split these two words separate. Export. Okay. Let's hide that. And I do need to bring in the one extra piece there that I created. Okay, back to the regularly scheduled programming.
Electric, biologic. Electric, biologic.
Boop. Yeah, cut it off there. It's a weird one because you don't really hear the end of the word.
System online, eyes open.
Let's zoom in a little bit there.
I see online, eyes open. I see time, hope unspoken. Heart.
All right. Really, I wish I knew a better process for doing this. It is a pain in the ass.
With time, hard sign.
Dink. Dink.
With time.
And the next one. Grab a few of these and slide them over.
Your mind. With time. Your mind.
That one probably comes in just a hair earlier. There.
Level take.
All right, that one's right there. All right, I think I missed the ending a little bit there. I did.
You smile.
All right, just a hair too fast. There we go.
You smile.
Actually, no, I think I was right the first time.
You hurt. You hurt.
And that just a hair.
You hurt.
Yeah, that one actually lined up.
You choose. Love will take. Love will take.
All right, let's make sure.
Love will take. Love will.
All right, a little late.
Love will take.
Better, a little late going out too. All right. There we go. Next one.
Love will take. Love will take.
Max, you know what's funny doing this? Remember how I was telling you, like, you can't have the image and the audio line up the same, like when we were doing Bello? Same thing for lyric videos. It's just slightly off. Works so much better. It's so weird.
Love will take.
All right, we got one more. Let me zoom in here. This is a pain in the butt. Sometimes I'm right on the money.
Max 90,265 says, yeah, that's really interesting. Not quite sure why that is.
I don't know either. You'd think, I mean, obviously, like visually, light travels faster. So I don't know. You'd think, though, like even if they're lined up the same, visually, you'd get that information first, but I don't know. It's almost like the reverse for some reason. All right, perfect. Heart sign. All right, almost there. Woo. No, maybe a little closer. Feels like that one need a little sooner. All right, let's see.
With time,
And the last one.
love or take,
All right, just a hair sooner.
love or take.
There we go. Money. All right, let's get these lined up here at the end.
Love or take.
All right, let me hit save and let's see if we got it right.
Electric, biologic, system online, eyes open. I see time, hope unspoken, heart sign with time. You're mine.
I just realized I have my I've got my Premiere window open all the way. You guys can't even see the stupid video that I'm working on. You're just seeing me mess around with the timeline. All right, let's try that one more time. This way you guys can actually see what the heck or the point of all that was. All right, here we go.
smile. You heard love will
All right, come on over here. Come on.
you choose.
Oh,
Love will take. Love will take. Love will take. Love will take.
come on, come over here. I gotta finish working, don't worry.
Hard sign with time. Your love will take.
All right, that last little overtake. I wasn't really paying attention to the rest of it, but
Love will take.
that's better. Not bad, if I do say so myself. I think Harley's had enough of me working today. She'll start like sitting in front of the keyboard and actually sitting on the keyboard. She'll let me know when she's had enough of me working. Stinker dog. All right, let's go ahead and export this sucker. Media. Love or take. Oh, dude, Max, crazy thing. So when I was, working on the lyrics for the song, I went through a bazillion versions and, writing the story first, refining with Claude. I've really set it up like with good instructions, so he really helps me blast through it. But anyway, I was trying to figure out a good hook, a good chorus. And ultimately, I had Love Atomic, kind of playing on the biologic, electric, all of that stuff. And I had Love Atomic. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. And just for bleeps and giggles, I'm like, oh, let me go look to make sure there's not another song, out there right now that's popular that has it. And of course, something pops up. I'm like, oh God, what else am I gonna do? So start thinking of other words, and then end up coming up with voltaic, which is another kind of electricity thing. It sounds pretty cool. So I'm like, all right, let's give it a shot. So I put in voltaic instead of Love Atomic. Voltaic, such a weird word. And I'm kind of like, people aren't going to understand the word. And I'm just like, let me just try it. So I pop it in there and I play it. And it sounds exactly like what you hear now. Love or take. Voltaic came out that way. So that's why I ended up with Love or Take. That wasn't in the original chorus, but that's what it ended up with. And I think it actually works really good because it's, it's kind of a double play on give or take and that whole kind of thing. So happy accidents. I was Bob Ross was with me that day making the lyrics for that part. It came out pretty cool. I actually like it. I think it works good. All right. Thanks for mastering that too. That's really cool. I really appreciate
Max
it.
90,265 says, hey, it works.
It does. It does. Happy accidents. Happy accidents. It's so funny. It reminds like writing and writing lyrics for that matter. It reminds me so much of doing artwork and graphic design. Like they kind of overlap in so many different ways where you're stuck on one thing and you're like, you know what? This isn't quite what I want. Let me try something completely different. And all of a sudden, it just clicks into place. It's so funny how that works with any kind of art. All right, so we got that. Let me move my files back over. And, here it is. Love or Take. So I got the lyric video ready, and then I'm going to do, let me copy this into here. And then I'll also do like a promo video, just like under a minute, so I can post that. So you know what? Let's do that now. Why the heck not? Let me move these files back over here. Offline all, delete. I'm going to bring in the, why does it do that? Some reason it doesn't, it won't bring in the audio sometimes with the video. It's really weird. All right, let's see, where's a good breaking point to get us a minute worth of song? I think that's a pretty decent spot to come in. I want to play the little bit of the intro and then some of the chorus.
System online, eyes open, I see time.
Oh boy. Oh. That's right. I'm like, why is love there? It's because it's the end of the, where it does the crazy, you know, why is the lyric there and I don't hear the word love?
System online.
All right, let me zoom in there. Let's see if we can get a little bit more. There it is. Well, that's bloody annoying. Okay. It's a promo video, so it doesn't have to be perfect.
System online, eyes open, I see time, hope unspoken, heart sign with time, you're mine.
I wonder if maybe bringing the, I usually like to get further into the song, but I might just go back and we'll do a little bit more of the intro. It is a pretty short song. It's like a little under 3 minutes. Let's see. Oh, it's so close. I got to keep it under a minute too, so it doesn't get flagged for copyright once I do release it. And it's really close. Wait, when the hell is Valentine's Day? Is it the 13th? Oh, the 14th. How cool is that? I'm releasing this thing the day before Valentine's Day. Perfect. Not like it matters. Nobody's going to be like, oh, God, I got to buy this song or add it to my playlist. But that's just kind of funny that that happened. All right, let's go see if I can get this right about... Let's see, about right about there. All right, promo video. I think we're good.
Electric, biologic. System online, eyes open. I see time, hope unspoken. Hard sign with time. You're mine. Love will take. Love will take. Love will take.
There we go. There's our promo. All right, export. Woohoo. Love or take promo. Not bad. I mean, I love the music part of it too, but man, at the end of the day, my favorite part is the writing, the lyrics, because it's really similar to everything that I usually do with my art and graphic art and stuff. So that's the part that gets me fired up, taking a whole story and shoehorning it into some lyrics. It reminds me a lot of doing logos. We worked on a few of those together, and it's they're hard because you got to shoehorn so much detail into it. And when it comes out perfect, it's like they just look at it and go, "Oh, it's so great! It's so clean and simple." It's not even close to being simple. It's the amount of work it took to get there is crazy. And I think that's kind of what's really fun about it, though. All right, there we go. We got our promo. I'm gonna leave that out because I think I'm gonna post that. Actually, you know what? Let me leave. I want to run. I'm gonna post that lyric video tomorrow. Love or take. Do those first. All right, all right, all right.
Max 90,265 says, yeah, it's a lot of work, trying to cram a lot of meaning into a few words that rhythmically work well.
Yeah, that's I think really the hard part too at the end of the day. I mean, the refining, and then that's one thing that's really cool though, because I used to write lyrics and stuff back in the day just for funsies, and I'd sing them out loud to myself, but I'm not a singer or nothing, and so putting them into Suno and then actually playing the song and hearing kind of where it's flowing through them nicely, what ones go together well, and then adjusting other stuff. It's really fun to hear it come to life. So I think that's one of my favorite things about being able to use Suno. Again, I'm not a musician, but I do know what I like to hear. So that makes it fun. Wow. Harley is look at that. She's staring at the wall. She won't even look over here because she's mad, right? Are you mad at me, Harley Bear? She's pissed. Harley Bear, I'm almost done. Oh, see? Ha! I got you. All right, I better get off here before she really does get pissed and poops in the bed or something stupid. She wouldn't do that, but she's ready for me to be done working. It's about that time, and I got a couple things I got to wrap up. So I'm going to get off the stream, y'all. Thanks for hanging out, Max. I love it when you come and hang out. Oh yeah, I saw some of the emails. I'll dive deeper into those and check that out. Let me know if there's anything you need from me. But I think first it's coming to you anyway, and then after that I need to sign and stuff, right? So, but we'll talk about that offline. Okay, I'm off. See you later. Have a good night. If I can find that, there it is. Okay, now I'm gone. She is a poor little stinker. She gets so many treats and she's so spoiled, but she's awesome. All right. Love you. Bye.